Hello everyone. Um, as you can see, I'm playing the Great Ace Attorney Chronicles, which I just bought, like, today. So, we're gonna continue on. I already started, the first adventure, but it's part 2 now. So, I'm just gonna start from here. And and right now I am live, but I'm also going to be, make sure that this is recorded. Oh. Okay. Alright, let's go into it. It's because I was shut in the pantry. I have no idea what happened outside in the dining area. Ah, there you are. Well done, both of you. Professor Mikotoba. Well, it seems I was right. Pair of you make an outstanding team. You've exceeded my expectations, I have to say. No, wait. More Asian. Yes, it seems you planned this from the start. You arranged things so that I wouldn't be able to act as a lawyer in this trial. Oh, yeah, and just to tell you, this is in English, not in Japanese. I figured I've already seen a good amount of that Gyakuten Saiban in Japanese, so I definitely know what they sound like. I want to give English a shot. I know a lot of people saying, oh, but like it's better in Japanese, blah blah blah. I understand, but I would like to hear the English side of things, just like with Genshin, just like with Xenoblade Chronicles, just like with some of the other games that use more English. Our modern country is still in its infancy, our justice system even more so. Which is why I firmly believe that we need to send our brightest young stars overseas to learn all they can. I wanted to avoid a situation that may have resulted in your study tour to Great Britain being cancelled. Well, it makes no difference. Lawyer or otherwise, if I'm the kind of man who can't help his best friend avert the worst crisis of his life, I shouldn't waste everyone's time by going to study overseas anyway. What? What are you saying, Kazuma? So that's your stance. I was afraid you'd feel that way. Kazuma? Well then, it looks like it all comes down to you, young man. Be shonen. 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 To me? Me? Yes. You need to prove your innocence and uncover what really took place in that restaurant. I must say, I very much want to know the truth. After all, I have a personal connection to this case. Come to think of it, he said the same thing earlier this morning, didn't he? If you don't mind me asking, Professor, did you know the victim? Yes, I did. As you're probably aware, Dr. John H. Wilson was a visiting professor at UMA. And it was I who invited him. Oh, I see. I didn't know that before. Anyway, you're about to go into battle. The victim was a university professor from Great Britain, and a well-known one at that. Naturally, our government is looking to identify and punish the culprit as quickly as possible. But let's not forget who we're going up against. A gentle woman whose involvement our police bureau went to extraordinary lengths to hide. Separate sound effects. Ugh. Sorry, that does not sound right. Yes, and I'm sure the prosecution will be using every tool at their disposal to quash your case. But I have no doubt that you pair will put up a good fight, right to the last. Best of luck. Arigatou gozaimashita! Now then. Dewa. I need you to run an errand at the university at once. There's something I think we may need. Susato! Oh, she's so cute. Of course. Good luck, Kazuma-sama. Defendant Naruhodo! Court recess is over. Please make your way back inside the courtroom at once! It's time. Get back to it, partner. Eyeball! Let's go in there and... Whoa. Let's go in there and deal a decisive blow before those old fossils know what's hit them. Okay, okay. Kazuma. What? Thank you. Really? What for? Well, if you hadn't said you believed me, then I'm fairly sure I already have been found guilty by now. Look, I have faith in you. As a lawyer, and as a friend. Coming from you, that means a lot. Power of friendship will prevail! If I'm found guilty in this trial, he's really going to give up on his dream of studying abroad. That's the kind of true friend he is. But this isn't just my battle anymore. Whoever we're up against, we absolutely cannot afford to lose. Alright then. I'll save the thank you for after the trial. You can treat me to one of those sukiyaki meals I like from Yume Cafeteria on University Street. With an extra large portion, of course. Oh gosh. Courtroom number 2. Oh. Here I resume the trial of Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Naruhodo na. Prosecutor Auchi. Out. Have you managed to subpoena the witness? Yes, Your Excellency. Yes, Your Excellency, against all odds. And thanks to a certain young stripling, the prosecution is now under rather painful scrutiny from the government. Ugh. Sorry. Let the government scrutinize. That's their job. It's nothing to worry about. It's highly unlikely that the good relations we forged with Great Britain will emerge from this trial unscathed. We still think it's nothing to worry about when the new treaty breaks down and our nation founders? Flounders? Again. Again. Terribly sorry. If the friendship between our nations is really so fragile, then the treaty isn't worth the paper it's written on. You really have nothing to worry about, Ryunosuke. What do you mean? A secret trial, anxiety over some foreign government's opinions, a bungled investigation, missing witnesses. Is this what our nation's justice system is? Is this the Supreme Court of Japan or of England? Urusai! Urusai, you jumped up rookie boy! You and your friend know nothing of the situation our nation finds itself in. Whoosh! By aligning ourselves with this great world power, we'll become strong. Diplomacy has never been more critical. Yeah, until World War II happened. Steadily political maneuvering is what will secure our futures. Staring. I won't deny that I'm no expert. I'm just a student, and one who could arguably study harder too. But standing here now in our Supreme Court, there's one thing I feel very strongly. A country that fails to uphold the truth in its justice system is a country with no future at all. Boom. Get boomed. Get boomed on. Well said, Ryunosuke, despite the wide-eyed look of terror. You little brats! Oh no! Court is the pinnacle of our nation's justice system and exists solely for the pursuance of truth. With that in mind, this trial will now resume with the next witness taking the stand. The visiting student from Great Britain, Miss Giselle Brett. Yes. Boom. Your Excellency! Well, what a delight it is. Oh my god, what is this voice? Well, what a delight it is to welcome such a fine gentlewoman to Japan, and from such a distant land. Tea. Someone bring English tea. In England, no discussions take place without tea. Is that true? No idea. So, ahem. Could we possibly trouble you to state your name and occupation for the court? Of course. Hold on. Of course. My name is Satoru Hosonaga. I have been working undercover as the head waiter at La Carnival. Yes, we know about you already. Inspector Hosonaga, where are your memories? In England, it's always ladies first. Is that true? No idea. More importantly, a little earlier today you said something to me. You said your powers of observation are the one thing you're sure of. Yes, I think I did. Didn't I? Yet your description of this amazing sight was simply a woman. Sorry, Inosuke, but powers of observation aside, your powers of description are sorely lacking. Guilty as charged. So, dear lady, once again, if we may trouble you for your name and occupation, please. Whoosh. I can't read cursive. Yeah, I know, same here. I can't read cursive. At least not that kind of cursive. That was way too hard to read. Yeah, same. I'm terribly sorry, dear lady, but what? What's up there? I believe you must speak in Japanese, miss? I said that my name was Giselle Brett. Student. The lady says her name is Giselle Brett. She comes from London, England. She is a visiting research student, currently enrolled in UMA University's medical faculty. Oh my, what a rare treat to hear the dulcet tones of the delightful language of the British people. I'm afraid I don't understand a word you said, but it was as beautiful as a hummingbird's song. As far as I can tell. The detective is translating her words faithfully enough. Yes, I agree. You'll obviously do fine in England, Kazuma. Your English doesn't rattle you at all, does it? Nor you. You've clearly been paying attention in your English classes, Ryunosuke. The court thanks the beautiful lady for taking the stand. Now, if we may trouble you to confirm something, Miss Brett. Do I dare edit the title? 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnival. I can. What is this called again? Okay. God. Sorry, I'm just going through some things. Oh, the famous word. Objection. Okay. Alright. 3 days ago, at a restaurant called Le Carnaval, a grim murder took place. The court has been led to believe that you were dining there with the victim, Dr. Wilson, at the time. Is that correct? Is that correct? She says yes. Wait. This could take some time. So even though she's studying here in Japan, she can't speak any Japanese? I still can't read that cursive. Why did they make it that so he couldn't even read regular cursive? She'd like to apologize for disappearing from the scene. She says that she was due to make a presentation at the university, so she had to leave immediately. Interesting. When you're the one who engineered her escape. I was just following special orders from the bureau.
Well now, dear lady, would you be so kind as to cast your eyes over this photographic print?
AKA
Wilson!
Okay.
Seeing as you were so unfortunately present at the scene of the crime, could it be that your resplendent eyes caught sight of this wicked perpetrator, perhaps?
Oh, sorry. Apparently, it was a very frightening and sorrowful sight. Do you mean to say? Yes, it would appear the lady did witness the crime. The very moment when the accused, standing right there in this courtroom, shot the victim in cold blood. Shot the victim in cold blood. Order! Order in the court. Did you hear that, Your Excellency?
Here we have an absolutely conclusive witness statement.
Well, it looks like it's clear now. Clear who our real enemy is. Oh, effort sounds. Unfortunately, I'll have to ask you to formally testify. If you please. Gotta move things around. Excuse me. Kindly tell the court the exact nature of this frightening and sorrowful sight you described. Can you speak testimony in Japanese? Or maybe not. Maybe it's still gonna be in a... I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. The professor was unable to eat, so I ordered for myself only a beefsteak. I love the Gyakuten Saiban music. After a while, the accused came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Then, not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. Blah 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 blah. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. This is a condemning testimony indeed. Yes! Yes! No, I didn't have any kind of argument with the professor at all.
Objection!
Objection!
Quiet, you filthy wretch! Look at you, you black-hearted blackguard, and look at the Snow White Angel. I'm sure even a dark-minded scoundrel like you can imagine whose words the court is going to believe.
Ugh. You're still making the same mistakes, Ryunosuke. You mustn't blurt out when you're goaded like that. That's a lesson you need to learn. Ugh, but he's so annoying. Of course, I was at the scene as well. I took statements from this lady and the 2 witnesses who testified before and reported back to the bureau. It was decided that Miss Brett was not involved, so I let her go. The testimonies of the last 2 witnesses were completely worthless, however. Well, even so. On the day in question, the lady was wearing the same outfit as she is today. As you can see, there is nowhere about her person where she could conceal a firearm. I would think she could hide a gun almost anywhere in that outfit if she wanted to. Heck yeah.
Unless until the precise location where the witness is to have hidden a weapon can be shown, this is moot.
There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. Those are the witnesses' own words on the matter. Arg! Ah, that's ridiculous. If only I was allowed to lift up her... Hold on. Don't think about doing anything rash, Ryunosuke. If I didn't fire the gun I picked up, there must have been another gun there that day. You're right about that. Which means, this lady was hiding a gun somewhere. Yes, that's what we have to prove now. To do so? And to do so, we will need to pull her testimony apart. The defense may now cross-examine the witness. Oh, yes, Your Excellency. I had arranged to meet for a slightly late luncheon with Dr. Wilson that day. Yes? The professor was unable to eat, so ordered for myself only. A beefsteak. Yes? After a while, the accursed came over to greet the professor, and they got into a fierce argument. Press.
Yes!
I never got into an argument with the professor. All I did notice him was go over to say hello. Please, don't get angry with me. No, I wasn't directing the retort at you. For the lady next to you. But anyway, as I said, I did not argue with the professor. I'm afraid your words are in vain. Sorry? Miss Brett does not appear to speak Japanese. No, of course not. Japanese is a cumbersome language anyway. English is fun. Oh no. English is the future. We must all speak English. I wonder if the prosecution will feel that way forever, or only in the presence of a beautiful woman, huh? Well, that beautiful woman is telling blatant lies with a completely straight face. I have to find something that will unravel her testimony, no matter what seemingly insignificant it may be. Anyway, it seems that after the argument, the accused briefly returned to his own seat. That part ties in with what you said, doesn't it? Yes, I still had some coffee to drink. And the next time you got up after that, when I had finished my coffee and stood up to leave. That schmirk. And not long afterwards, the accused took the professor's gun and shot him right before my eyes. I don't carry a gun myself, so obviously I couldn't have been the culprit. all very well saying that, but can you prove it? Absolutely. I verified it personally. You verified it? Yes. Immediately after the incident, I checked to make sure the lady was not carrying a weapon. I distinctly remember her saying, "I'm not." That's all you did? Just asked her? Surely you carried out a physical search, Inspector. No. Why on earth not?
The Honorable English gentlewoman clearly stated that she did not possess a weapon. There was also no need for any further probing into the matter.
Or there was no permission given for any further probing into the matter, perhaps.
Think what you will. But if you're going to continue with this preposterous claim that the refined lady was concealing a firearm, prosecution demands that you support your assertion with facts.
In other words, he wants evidence. Ugh. The lady wishes to point out that, of course, she wanted to stay and assist with the investigation. But she was in a hurry to give a presentation at the university, so she was compelled to leave. Not to mention the fact that your office had told you to get this woman out of here. Not get her out of here. I just urged her to leave. Yeah. Yeah, make to one Monday. Make to one Monday. Ready to come home and bring it. Right? Your starts at 4:30? Okay. Which is why she's only too happy to cooperate and testify here in the court today. Of course, hold on 1 second.
Unlike a certain student who refuses to admit when the game is up. You could at least have the courtesy to pay attention when I'm goading you.
Nah, we're good. But she's maintaining that you got into an argument with the professor, at the end of which you shot him, which is an out-and-out, totally unfounded lie. Still, her statement is very compelling. After all, she's an elegant, refined, young, and beautiful gentlewoman from Great Britain. In stark contrast to you, dressed from head to toe in a dull black suit uniform. Dressed exactly the same way as you are, except for the flapping red ribbons, aka headband doll. Well, anyway, this is our only chance to expose the testimony as the fiction that it is. If we can't do that, the trial's over. Even you with your thick skin must be able to feel the murderous looks you're getting from around the room. Only too well. I feel half dead already. And the fact that I can't see a single inconsistency in her testimony isn't making me feel any better either. The first thing to do is press her on any of her statements that seem to even slightly off. Do that, and an opening will present itself. I promise you. You need to expose the true face of this exotic foreigner behind the mask. Well, I guess I'll just press on everything.
Yes!
Okay. There to be. That's really quite a late lunch, isn't it?
Objection!
You don't keep up with the latest fashions from Britain, do you? Late luncheons are in vogue. In vogue? Isn't that right? No. Look. A decisive English no has quite a sting to it. The gentlewoman is currently working in the victim's research laboratory, it seems. So it was apparently a daily occurrence that they would lunch together. On the day in question, the victim had another appointment at the clinic first. Yes, which we can prove from the medical report card, evidence earlier. That's right. Working on English accent. I should call it. Miss Brett and the victim went to lunch following the victim's treatment, which is why it was so late. Yes, that all makes perfect sense.
And such wonderful logic. What a shining example of English intelligence this fine gentlewoman is.
So you both arrived at the restaurant. What happened next?
Yes!
Unable to eat, you say? That was because he just had a tooth removed at the Hata clinic, correct? That's right. You're supposed to actually check with the witness before answering. Was Miss Brett aware of that fact? It seems so, yes. She had heard that the professor was to have some dental treatment. So that would mean that it was you who ate the steak pictured here. Is that right, Miss Brett? That's right, yes. The print you have there shows the table exactly as it was left after the horrifying events. Exactly as it was left?
Dear me, what a harrowing experience. I've traveled to a distant island on the far side of the world and embroiled in such a tragic incident. Have no fear, my dear lady. I swear I will crush the evil fiend as...
So the victim, Dr. Wilson, had nothing to eat or drink at all. That's right, other than some carbonated water. Just water? Yes, the professor was unable to eat, but he had been given permission to drink water. It appears that the diners toasted their lunch with a glass of water each. They each raised a glass of carbonated water. What do you think, Rinosuke, about the witness's last statement? It's very meaningful. The last statement of yours, Miss Brett, has a profound bearing on this case.
Well, how fascinating. Do tell us, what is this profound bearing?
The significance of the statement will become apparent when the time is right. The defense calls for the witness's last statement to be formally added to the testimony.
Well sidestepped, counsel.
Very well. Miss Brett, kindly repeat what you just said to be added to your testimony.
Gladly.
That was brilliant, Kazuma. I'm going to remember that one. Which one? The significance will become apparent when the time is right. I could really use that phrase. I'd hope there are some more useful tips you're picking up from this experience than that, Rinosuke. For myself and the press president, I said cheers over a glass of carbonated water. This is where I put this in.
Yes!
That's it. It's it. Let me just confirm something, please. It's to do with this photographic print. Just a short while ago, you spoke of this print showing the victim's table at the crime scene. That it was exactly as it was left. That is correct, the lady says. Well, it's odd. Very odd. Dear me, what's odd? This defense's inability to express itself. Ugh. Rinosuke, what is it about the print that looks odd to you? Well, obviously, it's the cheers. The cheers? Ms. Brett just told us that she and the professor said cheers over a glass of water. But if that's true, there should be 2 glasses on the table, not 1. Ah, well, you're quite right, Counsel. There's only 1 glass pictured here.
Objection!
Are we supposed to be impressed by this nitpicking over minutiae? What possible difference does the presence or absence of a glass make on this case?
Objection!
Objection! Kazuma, objection. Minutiae, you say. Minutiae. Could it be that the detective here removed a glass from the table to conceal the lady's presence? Of course not. I would never do something so reckless. But there should have been 2 glasses on the table. Or are you going to try to tell me you can clink with only 1? You're quite right. Certainly took 2 glasses to the table. Hmm. Inspector, what did the lady say? It would seem that it was Miss Brett who took the glass from the table. What? It was also terrifying, everything that happened. I panicked and thought I should try to hide the fact that I'd been there at all, she's saying. Good gracious.
Dottie.
Buddy. There, as I assured the court before, this is of no consequence at all. Oh, please. You must remember that this student has just murdered this lady's luncheon companion before her very eyes. Who could blame her for concealing a glass or 2 in her state of disarray? That's absurd.
Oh, really?
So do we take it that you are now going to accuse this vulnerable young and beautiful woman of mischief? What? No. This can't be put down to mischief. I'd like to know exactly how the lady took the glass from the scene.
Blah 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 blah.
It seemed that she slipped it into a small handbag she was carrying. Handbag, you say? Yes, Your Excellency. Small handheld pouch commonly carried by a well-to-do woman in England.
Ah, the other evidence.
So the beautiful lady...
So the beautiful lady had graciously explained why she removed the glass from the scene now. However, the fact remains that this glass has absolutely no bearing on the case. This student has been trying to confuse the court with logical reasoning, but in the end it comes to nothing. No more pretentious accusations. You've wasted enough time already.
Indeed, the lady has offered a satisfactory explanation as to why she removed this glass. I think henceforth we can consider the matter to have no bearing on the case. Counsel, for the defense, are you in agreement? Well, I don't know, really. If you want to pursue this matter further, you're going to need to show that it has some deeper significance. Yes, you're right. But she took the glass away in her handbag. If there's a deeper significance there, it's the handbag. Wait, the lady put the glass in her handbag, you say? Yes, do try to keep up. It's already been explained to the court that all English gentlewomen carry handbags for small items. Let me see. A little while ago, Miss Brett stated the following. There are no pockets in my outfit. I have nowhere to hide a gun. But what she forgot to mention was her handbag, in which it would be perfectly possible to conceal a gun. Oh, you're right. Well done, partner. I had a feeling you'd pick up on that too.
What are you insinuating, you vile blackguard?
It's really very simple. The gunshot was heard when the defendant picked up the gun from the restaurant floor. As he didn't fire that gun, we can deduce there must have been another firearm at the scene. The true murder weapon, if you will.
You can't seriously be suggesting.
Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Did you or did you not search Miss Giselle Brett's handbag on the day of the murder? No, sir, I did not. As I thought. In other words, another gun, the one that was actually used to kill the professor, could have been hidden in Miss Brett's handbag.
No!
Big old nonsense. Order! Order! Order!
What is the meaning of this, Inspector?
The meaning of what, Prosecutor Ouchi?
Why on earth did you not have the lady open her handbag to show you the contents at the time? Thanks to your bungling incompetence, now she has to endure these uncomfortable accusations.
Brilliant work, partner. Now we have a chance to expose the real woman behind the mask. Do you think so, Kazuma? Ahem, big blood. Well, sorry for well, what a sorry situation. Clearly, you have no faith in the police. Uh, as I said, I did not search the lady's handbag after the shooting. Simply because it was unnecessary. Unnecessary? In what way? I ought to thank the student lawyer, really. I have a piece of evidence here that I had completely forgotten about. The photographic print. This print is of a photograph that I thought would be prudent to take immediately after the shooting. As you can see, it clearly shows Miss Brett's handbag. Well, I never. You can see right through what's inside. That's right. Apparently, meshwork bags like these are the height of fashion in London at the moment. So the contents are clearly visible. Exactly. So, there was no need to search the lady's handbag. If there had been a gun inside, it would have been immediately obvious. As you can see, there's nothing to imply Miss Brett's guilt here. Thank you for helping to prove that. Now, Hodo-san. Order, order! Inspector Hosonaga, you will submit that print as evidence at once. Certainly, Your Excellency. A photograph of the handbag that has been has been entered into the court record. Oh, okay. I think you've had long enough to cross-examine the witness, counsel. Yes. The court has now been shown considerable evidence, as the photograph print just submitted into the court record appears to have no further significance. I'm satisfied that there is no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Indeed, and there is only one logical conclusion, that the pathetic rookie slumped over the bench before us is the only possible perpetrator of this crime. No. Just when I thought I was beginning to turn things around, I'm in a worse situation than I was at the start. Kazuma? I'm sorry, Yunosuke. Now that the cross-examination of the witness is over, there's no way to force the trial to continue. What? You mean this is it? Yeah.
I must say you put up quite a fight for a rookie student. Let the weaker meet, while the strong eat. You were wasting your time. There is no way to defeat true justice. In fact, you can chew on to your heart's content from the inside of your cell.
This can't be happening. Am I really going to be found guilty of a crime that I didn't commit? And Kazuma, his dream of going to study in Great Britain will slip through his fingers. Kazuma. What? Is there really no chance of now turning this trial around? You heard the judge. There's nothing about the last photograph the detective produced that we can contest. Which means there's no basis on which we can argue for the trial to continue. Very well. I will now proceed immediately to the ruling.
Seems we'll be able to retort to the British government on time after all.
That smug little. Yunosuke Naohiro, having considered all of the evidence placed before me, I hereby find you— Wait! Yes! Wait, Your Excellency. Yunosuke. I don't think you can rule on this case yet.
Objection! Objection! This amateurishness is getting tedious. When His Excellency deems that the trial is over, he gives his ruling. That is the most basic protocol of the courtroom.
Yes! Yes. Your Excellency, just a moment ago you said this. This photographic print just submitted appears to have no further significance. There's no longer any room for doubt in this matter, and I must make my ruling. Now, that means that if there was a problem with the evidence, some significant detail I mean, then ruling on the case at this time would be out of the question.
This is blatant straw clutching. Look at the photographic print. All it shows is the handbag the gentleman was carrying on the day in question. There could be no problem with this evidence.
You better know what you're doing, Ryunosuke. I understand your objection, counsel. Certainly, the new evidence submitted by the detective has not undergone the court's scrutiny. However, I fail to see how we can glean any new information from this handbag.
My thoughts exactly. Really, the prosecution is becoming tired of this rookie's desperate wheezes.
Yes, I am desperate, but this isn't a wheeze. There's something about this photograph which just doesn't seem right. If only I could put my finger on it. Point, my good sir, point! Very well. I will grant the defense one final opportunity.
What?
But be warned that if I am unsatisfied by your response here, the trial will be over with immediate effect. Do I make myself clear? Yes, Your Excellency. So, take another look at the photograph print Inspector Hosenaga submitted before. You will identify for the court where in this print we will see the significant detail you have alluded. What was this?
Yes!
Look at this, here. There's a very unusual mark on the victim's wrist. That is true. It looks almost like a burn of some description.
Objection!
Dear me, I was pondering what new piffle you would come out with. A burn, you say, on the victim's wrist?
Please, that has nothing whatsoever to do with the magnificent lady's handbag.
Yes, that is a burn mark. You're right. Go on, Inspector. The police coroner also noticed it when he was performing the post-mortem examination. It was deemed unrelated to the cause of death, so he didn't note it in his report.
What did I tell you? In any case, we have no idea when the victim suffered this burn, do we? And no possible way of knowing either.
The more I look at it, the more I find myself intrigued by the curious shape of this mark. However, a prosecutor actually points out, unless a firm connection to the case can be shown, I cannot allow any further time to be spent on the precise details of this burn. Excuse me, Your Excellency. It would seem Miss Brett has a lunch appointment with the Dean and the other university staff. You would like to know if she may be excused from the stand now.
Oh, of course, dear lady. We shan't hold up any longer.
Quite sure His Excellency is about to give his final ruling anyways. What you thinking on this, Ryunosuke? Do you believe this burn does have something to do with the case? To be honest, I'm not really sure. But if I don't keep pushing, then it's all over. I was thinking I should keep digging and digging, in the hope that I might uncover something useful. Yes, you're right. I am? If we can just link that burn to the case, if we can do that, we might be able to prise the shutting door back open again.
Just give up, counsel. You can't possibly hope to do that.
Indeed, I'm afraid that without evidence, I can't allow you to pursue what is little more than conjecture. If we had evidence that irrefutably linked the burn on the victim's wrist to the case, then you would allow it? I would, yes. Tell the truth, I hadn't noticed that burn. But as soon as you pointed it out, what I did notice was the color draining from Miss Brett's face. Really? I have to find some link between that burn and the case. This is the moment of truth. It's time to find some evidence that proves what that burn really means. So then, the defense will now present its evidence to the court. The evidence that demonstrates an inextricable connection between the victim's burn and this trial. Does it? Yes, it would. Bam!
Yes!
What's this, counsel? Yet another print. Yes, Your Excellency. Does he have a hand guard? I don't know what he has on his hand. Is it like a glove, a hand guard? What's it at? I never knew what was on his hand. Anyways, I believe photographic prints are an amazing invention. When we humans look at a scene, we miss things. But in a photograph, things we may have overlooked at the time are recorded forevermore. You hurry up, Rookie. What are you trying to say?
The inconvenience this poor lady. Any further really would be quite inexcusable.
Actually, we may need you to stay with us a little longer if you don't mind. Brett the son. Miss Brett. You see, it's very clearly visible in this other photograph. How did the victim come to have that unusually shaped burn on his wrist? The reason is recorded here forevermore. What? How?
Objection!
You can't fool me with your little bluffs. If that's your game, then let's see how it plays out. Show me in the court exactly what you mean. What is it in this photograph that explains the reason for the victim's burn? It's this little thingy right here. This little thingy. This little...
Yes!
The beefsteak? Actually, the point is the metal plate the steak was served on. The plate? Your Excellency, are you alright? As you can see, there's an emblem on the plate. I would guess it's some sort of trademark of La Carnival. Ah! This emblem on the plate. And the victim's burn are exactly the same shape! Ah! Ryunosuke, you genius! Oh, Kazuma. You're spot on. Which means the victim must have suffered this burn while he was present at the restaurant.
Objection!
But even if that is the case, we can't know if it happened on that day in question or not. Could have been the day before, the day before that. It's some other unrelated time.
Well,
Objection!
sadly, Prosecutor Archie, the chances of that are extremely slim. Thanks.
Why?
The outline of the burn is clearly discernible. Such a serious injury would have caused quite a commotion in the restaurant. Wouldn't you agree, Inspector Hosonaga? I can't imagine having missed such a terrible disaster, certainly.
But...
I would say, looking at the picture of the wound, that it wasn't suffered very long ago. And although it's not a particularly large burn, it's extremely well defined, as the defense just pointed out. This was no mild burn, that's for sure. Can you be more specific, Inspector? Well, let's see. If the plate was at around 90 degrees centigrade, a burn like that would have taken around 3 seconds. It's inconceivable that the victim wouldn't have let out a scream of pain then. I've been investigating the restaurant for several weeks already, but I've not heard anyone scream at all. As the head waiter of La Carnival, I can testify to that without hesitation.
But you're a detective, not a waiter?
He's still a waiter.
Yes!
He's a great many person. There you have it. Something isn't right here. As the detective said, anyone who burned themselves on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds would scream in pain. There's no question of that. And yet Inspector Hosonaga never heard the professor scream. Not on that day, or any before it. That's right. And the strange thing is... That's right. And the strange thing is, on the day he was shot, I didn't hear him cry out either. What are you suggesting? Well, if the professor had carelessly laid his wrist on the plate for anything like 3 seconds that day, that would be beyond careless, I think, Counsel. Then the rest of us in the restaurant, myself, the sergeant, and the old antiques dealer, all of us would without any question have heard him scream. Wouldn't you agree, Prosecutor Aoji? Well, yes, I suppose.
Suppose?
So the question is, why didn't a single person hear Dr. Wilson scream? I almost don't believe it. Yonosuke, do you think... Eating some chocolate now. I'm I never dreamt we'd arrive at a conclusion like this, but I'm starting to think that maybe we've been led into a terrible trap. Sorry. Chocolate. Toffee. So good. There's only one explanation I can think of to make sense of this apparent impossibility. On the day in question, when he suffered the burn to his wrist, Dr. Wilson he was already dead. No man could remain silent while his wrist was burning on a piping hot plate for 3 whole seconds. Clearly impossible, apart from in one particular situation. Counsel, are you suggesting... Yes, it's only possible. I nodded with him. If the man was already dead. Already? Dead? Dun dun dun. Knowing what we know now, is the only possible explanation. When the beefsteak was brought to Dr. Wilson's table that day, the professor was already dead.
That's madness!
Man, how is Kazuma's headband still flowing? There's no wind in the courtroom. Order, please, counsel, explain this absurd notion at once. The victim was killed by a gunshot.
That's right. That's absolutely right, Your Excellency. It's just another ridiculous ploy by the rookie student, but clearly he has no grasp of the facts.
Objection! No, Prosecutor Aoji, it's you who has no grasp of the facts. Oh god, what was that?
I beg your pardon?
As soon as it became apparent that the victim had suffered that burn while at the restaurant, this whole case was turned upside down. Or have you not grasped that yet?
Your
Excellency, the court must hear from this witness again. If it's true, as we now believe, that the victim was already dead before the gunshot was heard, it's highly likely that Miss Brett knows something about it. Incredible. I certainly didn't anticipate this twist of events. I'm sorry to say, Miss Brett, that you will have to forget your luncheon engagement.
But, Your Excellency.
The justice system in our country may be in its infancy, but rest assured, all reasonable doubt must be dispelled before I am prepared to pass judgment. Thank you, Your Excellency. What was that smile?
Yes, of course. I mean, I'd be delighted to help. Especially if it helps relations between my country and yours. Miss Brett, you speak Japanese? Nihongo? Anata no Nihongo?
I don't know Japanese, sorry. Well, mochiro.
I am studying in your country after all.
But then, why have you been speaking through an interpreter until now?
My mother tongue, the Queen's English. The Queen's English is the most refined and elegant language in the world. As a gentlewoman, I try to avoid speaking in your vulgar tones as much as possible. But it seems the men in this land possess none of the chivalrous virtues of English gentlemen, so I could see that I shall have to lower myself to communicating with you all on your own level. Oh, well, you are the epitome of a true English gentlewoman. We are truly honored by this lavish consideration you so graciously afford us.
See, In that case, Miss Britt, I will now ask you to testify in your own words about the events leading up to the death of the victim, Dr. Wilson. So, we're finally going to hear her own words on the matter. Things are getting interesting, Ryunosuke. This is a big witness testimony. I want more chocolate. Chocolate! Ooh, Allegro? Bum 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 ba-dum bum. I might have to... I might have to sneeze. Oh no. Fortunately, I have no idea when the poor man burnt his wrist like that. When the waiter brought my steak, the professor and I raised our glasses and a toast. As far as I've heard, post-mortem report showed no other possible causes of death besides the gunshot. And there's some other way a man's life can be taken without leaving a trace. Please, do show me. But of course, this country's inferior investigative techniques probably wouldn't pick up on it anyway. Alright, I'm back. Fine. English accents. Ooh, let's...
Yes!
I guess it's fine.
Wait.
Oh? No, wait!
ちょっと待ってちょっとはい
What do you think, Ryunosuke?
I think it's going terribly.
Yes, sir, I'm not turning up any new... I only pressed once. Yes, as I suspected, she's a tough witness. We need to find a way to break her testimony, or the cross-examination will be over. But that would mean I have to find a way. There must be some clue somewhere to help us find a chink in her armor. Kazuma? What, Ryunosuke? There is one thing I noticed, something that's been bothering me. Bothering you? You mean about Miss Brett? Actually, no. About the person standing next to her, Inspector Hosonaga. The detective? Yes, he seems to react a little strangely to Miss Brett's last statement. I was wondering if it might be significant, if it might present an opening, maybe. Alright, I have an idea. Try pressing her on that last statement one more time. If you think so, but this time, instead of targeting the woman herself, let's see what we can get out of the detective. Alright then. Wakari. Wakari? Wakarimashita? Myokai? Find out soon enough, I suppose. Once I press Miss Brett on her last statement again. Yes! Yes! Here, what do you mean by that? In the land of the Great British Empire, in this country you investigate once, and that's the end of it, isn't that so? Oh, quite right. La Carnival is open for business as usual today, just days after the incident. Exactly. Which means even if the investigation takes a different direction, vital evidence may be lost. Look at that. Yes, there it is again. The detective's reaction is just the same as before. Why? Up until now, the detective has been in the stand with Miss Brett as her interpreter. But things are very different now. For this testimony, the detective is just listening to what the Englishwoman has to say. This could be a golden opportunity. I went a little Australian there. Nah, I think it's just broken English. What do you mean? When people are actually testifying, they're usually very careful not to let anything slip. However, when they're listening to someone else speak, you'll find they often let their guard down. You're right. Look at him. He's lost in his own thoughts. It's time. Sue the man in his train of thought. Sorry, Sue. Explain how to do it now, Ryunosuke. It's all to do with the witness marker. What marker? The moment we're focused on Miss Brett, who's the person actually making the current statement. But by moving the marker left and right with the pads, you can turn your attention to the other people on the stand. While you're looking at the other witnesses, you'll be able to pursue them with A. You can catch that person just the right time, you might uncover some new information to pursue. Sue, if you ever notice a strange atmosphere amongst the people on the stand, take a good look around. Alright then, so first I should move the marker across with the D-pads. Focus on the detective and pursue him with A. Let's see what's on his eye. Here we go. Ikimasu.
Wait. Excuse me.
Excuse me. Is it Tsurumasan? Excuse me. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to shock you. He really was lost in his thoughts. Deeply. It looked like you were thinking something just now, Inspector. Perhaps having heard what the lady next to you had to say. If there's something you'd like to say, please share it with the court.
Objection!
What is the meaning of this? Oh, is that how it works? Absolutely not. The detective is in the stand, which makes him a valid witness. Yes, not to mention the fact that he's intimately involved in the case. Inspector Hosonaga. Yes. Do you have something to add? In relation to the statement just made by Miss Brett. Well, yes, if you don't mind. I would like to speak. The lady is right. Our country's police practices are not as modern as those used in Great Britain. Which is why I, the Toru Hosonaga, always strive to make every investigation I'm involved in lawless. What do you really mean by that? I'll tell you what I mean. I won't have evidence lacking on my watch. I'm not afraid to take everything I can from the scene of the crime. It's preserving evidence, you see. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief. I'm not ashamed of what I've done. Crime scene thief? Well, it looks like the lady's remarks touched a nerve there. Take this, for example. Is that? This is the bottle of carbonated water that I took to the victim's table on the day in question. And yes, it's lost all its fizz, having been opened 3 days ago. But it was carbonated water. I don't care what anyone says. Yes, there's some left in the bottle. I can see it. One day, our police force will be among the best in the world. The time is coming. I guarantee it. Big ol' ahems everywhere. Man, still no one around. Yeah, whatever. I can't say I condone the witness's actions, but I do understand the sentiment. The court will accept a glass of bottled water. Flat bottled water. Well, water as evidence. Flat carbonated water. Miss Britt. Can you confirm this is indeed the bottle from which you drank on the day of the victim's death? Oui. C'est une bottle. C'est une botte. What was that about? She seemed to avert her eyes when she answered the judge's question. Very well. Counsel, you may resume the cross-examination. And the inspector will kindly control his fervor. New evidence. I think it's French. It must be very expensive water. Yes, but what does it say? That's what I was asking. Then go to France and ask. You could just say that you don't know. So this is carbonated water. It's the last drink Dr. Wilson ever had. Looks like there's a little left in the bottle. Although it's just plain water now. You know, I've been sweating so much I'm absolutely parched. I'll just have a sip of this to keep me going. No, Ryunosuke, you can't do that. For one thing, that's evidence. You can't go drinking evidence. Oh, no, you're right. We don't know what might be inside, do we? You never cease to amaze me, Ryunosuke. In more ways than one. I wonder, could there be anything in this water? What's the matter? You've gone quiet all of a sudden. I think I might have just worked something out. An interesting possibility. Ugh. But I have no idea on the way to prop my statement. The toast, as far as I've heard, the postmortem report showed no other possibilities. Besides the gunshot, if there's some other way a man's life can be taken out of, please do show me. I think it's this one.
Yes!
What is this? The bottle of water? Oh god, it wasn't French. I mean, English? Blah. Actually, there is one method of killing a man without leaving a trace that comes to mind. Obviously, I'm referring to poison. Poison? On the day of his death, we know that Dr. Wilson drank from this bottle of carbonated water. Could it be that there was poison inside? Could it be that the professor actually died after taking a sip from his glass? Order, order, order! And on that day, who was sitting at the same table as the professor and able to slip the poison into his drink. There's only one person who could possibly have done it. Giselle Brett, it was you!
Objection!
This is outrageous to suggest such a thing without a scrap of evidence. You little rookie imbecile, have you even considered the delicate situation our country finds itself in now? Have you forgotten
Oh, hey, my little Mickey.
that we have only just signed an accord of friendship with the British? Have you even vaguest inkling of your rash accusations jeopardize the entire treaty?
Objection!
Objection! This is not a political arena. This is a trial to determine one's individual guilt with respect to one crime.
What?
The fact that this woman is British makes no difference. We are here to determine the truth.
Him, if I may, I will silence you forever for this disgraceful attack.
Ooh, that was a good shut up. That was a good English shut up.
It is you who should be silent. Oh, of course. Dear lady, sumimasen.
Where did that come from? She just snapped. I'm afraid I may have spoken unfairly before. Offer my most humble apologies. I'm sorry, my lady. To what are you referring? I described your police force as inferior, but no matter how inferior they may be, you still investigated this particular point thoroughly, I believe. The bottle, I mean, Inspector, and whether it contained poison or not. Of course. You did? Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? He changed. Oh my god. Have you forgotten what my guiding principle is already? I strive for a flawless investigation every time. I don't believe it. Naturally, we tested the inside of the bottle and its contents. And? What did you find, Inspector? I ordered tests for every toxin that's available in this country at the present time. We could find no trace of poison of any description in the bottle of carbonated water, Your Excellency. What? Are you sure? The tests were meticulously carried out by the chief coroner himself. No. No! 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 I'm very grateful to all you Japanese, who successfully established my complete innocence in this horrid affair. Thank you. But of course, oh, shut up, Aoichi. I'm so sure. This can't be right. Everything falls into place if he was poisoned. Thank you, Counsel. I think that cross-examination has clarified everything. As the prosecution have asserted, a shot to the chest from this gun is the only conceivable cause of death. Furthermore, the accused, who by his own admission was holding this weapon, is the only possible culprit. I'm done for. The court wishes to apologize for the great inconvenience this has caused you, Miss Brett. Oh no, I'm just glad the matter is resolved. Before proceeding, I must ask the counsel for the defense. Do you have any further new evidence to present the court at this point? Kazuma? Sorry, Ryunosuke. Nothing more. Nothing more. Well, if you'll excuse me now, I really must be leaving.
Hold it!
Oh!
Please wait.
Isn't that? What is the meaning? What is the meaning of this?
Forgive me for intruding on court proceedings, Your Excellency.
Susato Mikotoba, Judicial Assistant to the Defense. Mikotoba? In my darkest hour, nowhere left to go, he appeared like a bolt of lightning. And in her hand, she carried a small package wrapped in a furoshiki cloth. Part 2 is done. Wow. Alright, yeah, I'm gonna finish. I'm gonna keep going all the way. I'm gonna finish this whole trial. And then I'll stop for the day. For the night. Well, I understand you are the judicial assistant to the defense, but why is a sudden ingress into my courtroom?
Ha! A judicial assistant and a woman, no less. The rules state that females are not permitted into this court of law other than to testify.
Yes, I fully understand. I ask only for 5 minutes of time. I have some vital evidence that I must hand over to the defense.
Ah, you're too late, little girl. The trial's already been concluded.
5 minutes. I will not allow a moment more.
Your Excellency.
I am most grateful. Susato. Susato. Who exactly are you? I'm sorry, there's no time. Please, simply accept this for now. What is it? A report about something? Written in English. It's Giselle Brett's research. The English woman's? After the trial resumed earlier, I hurried back to the university. I went to Dr. Wilson's lab in the medical faculty and borrowed this paper. Oh yes, that's right, Miss Brett was studying under the professor, wasn't she? So, this research, whatever it is, has something to do with the case? I'm afraid I don't know. I haven't been able to listen to the proceedings of the trial myself. Oh, no, of course not. Special characteristics of curar and its effects on human subjects. Interesting. Curar? What's that? I've never heard of that word before.
Time's up. The prosecution demands the immediate removal of this female trespasser.
There was too little time for me to read it in detail, but I've summarized what I could on a note just inside the cover. If you think it could be valuable, please cast your eye over it. This is wonderful. Arigato. Giselle's report has been entered into the court record. Goodbye then, and good luck. Bowing the head. You've had long enough, counsel. We cannot detain our English guest any longer. I ask the prosecution and the defense now one last time. Does either side have any further evidence to present to the court? I presume not, but let's go to the court record. Must look at said thing. Poison. Okay, curare. How do you say that in Japanese? Curare. Poison made from the bark of certain trees in the jungles of South America. The hunters of the region have used it since ancient times to incapacitate. Effects: instant paralysis of the entire body and subsequent death, even in minute doses. Route of entry: the above mentioned effects occur when the poison enters the body through a wound, such as that inflicted by a blowpipe dart. Due to its ability to render the human body paralytic, it's believed that the toxin could have application as an anesthetic. However, a solution for the respiratory arrest caused as a result of the full body paralysis must be found first. Patients would die of suffocation. Okay. Yunosuke, we're out of options here. This really is our very last chance. Yes, I know. Your Excellency, the defense does have new evidence. That look. The unyielding stare of a true Japanese warrior. Well, Miss Brett? Yes, Your Excellency. If you wouldn't mind, perhaps you could grace us with your presence a little longer. It's a delightful invitation, but I'm afraid not so very long until tea time. I have to politely decline. Forgive me, Miss Brett. It seems I wasn't clear. I realize it was phrased as a question. However, I must ask you to treat that as an order. I've said it many times before, but Japanese language makes no sense. My apologies, dear lady. Wakari arimasen. So, counsel, what is this new evidence that demands the court's attention?
Yes!
Miss Giselle Brett, we understand that you were studying under Dr. Wilson at Yume University doing research. Research, by sheer coincidence perhaps, into a deadly poison. What? Poison? Where are you going with this, counsel? A toxin known as Curar. Curar, Your Excellency. Even the slightest amount of this deadly poison entering the body leads to instant death.
Objection!
What complete and utter nonsense. Curar, you say? I've never even heard of it. You wouldn't have. What do you mean? I mean that you wouldn't have heard of Curar before for one very simple reason. It doesn't exist in our country. It doesn't exist. Correct. Which means, no matter what test the police could do for toxins, they'd never identify Curar. Why? Because there is no test available here that can identify the presence of this highly deadly poison. What? Orders. Counsel, does this deadly poison truly exist? According to this report authored by the visiting research student from England, Curar has been long used in the tribespeople of South America as a poison to lace their arrows. It seems that it's reasonably well known among European doctors and scientists. To lace their arrows? The report states that it is produced from the extract of a tree that grows deep in the Amazonian jungle, and it was first brought back to Europe at the turn of the century by explorers. It claims that animals shot by arrows laced with Curar suffer instant death. Doesn't that about sum it up, Miss Brett?
Objection!
Promptly. I've been administered something. He would have been squirming around in pain the other time. That's true. What do you say to that, Inspector? Obviously, I would have noticed a disturbance like that. I don't remember anything like that either. I didn't notice the professor being in any kind of pain. According to this, however, it's the other way around. What do you mean, the other way around? The very fact that the victim didn't show any visible signs of distress is evidence that Curar was used. Explain yourselves, counsel. The moment this toxin enters a person's system, it causes instant paralysis. In other words, afflicted victims lose all strength and are completely unable to move. Even if they were in total agony, there would be no visible signs of pain at all. They're terrible. Obviously, if a man lost all strength in his muscles, he'd collapse on the floor. Or with a chair under him for support, as Dr. Wilson did, the effects could go largely unnoticed. But I don't follow, Kazuma. That's just paralysis. I thought the poison caused instant death. A full explanation is extremely unpleasant. The poison causes immediate paralysis, as I said, leaving the victim unable to move. Factor. The paralysis is so severe, it causes the muscles that control respiration to fail. Respiration? In other words, the actual cause of death is suffocation. And all the while, the victim is conscious and aware, just unable to move. That's hideous. To the observer, it would look almost like the victim was slipping peacefully into an endless sleep. But for the victim himself, his final moments would be a living hell. That is the true nature of this deadly Curar. Big old dots. And you're suggesting that this bottle, Council, actually contains terrifying poison?
Objection!
This is all very inconvenient, isn't it? Hitherto unknown poison for which there is no means of testing? What a happy tale for the defense. If I may. All these facts you think are so clever, but you must be taught them. That's such a good shut up. Shut up, you! Shut up! You must be taught. So, this is how you Japanese behave, is it? What? You steal another's honest hard work and then announce the results as if you discovered them. I'm appalled. What a loathsome act. Well, Miss Brett, the feeling is mutual. Whatever do you mean? Capitalizing on the unfortunate circumstances of an innocent man to frame him for a heinous crime? That really is a loathsome act. Wouldn't you agree?
Objection!
What's so funny? Oh, excuse me. Your Excellency? Yes, Miss Brett. May I borrow that bottle for a moment, please? Well, yes, I don't see, why not? Don't get too big for your boots, you insignificant little island boys. Sorry? To an Englishwoman such as myself, this whole affair is a farcical comedy. You little police games and these foolish courtroom antics, it's laughable, really. I'm getting bored of it all now. Time for the games to end. Cheers. Wait, what are you doing? Oh, it went to my real voice again. No sparkle left at all. How appropriate for this shabby affair. Goodness, whatever is the matter? You all look quite stunned. So, no cure? The bottle's clean. Is that what you're saying? You look quite incredulous, little boy, but of course. That's the simple truth. Thank you for presenting the findings of my research so concisely here in this grand venue. Most kind. Thank you, waiter. Now then, Your Excellency. Yes, Miss Brett. I should like to be excused now, please. I think I've given more than enough of my time for the furtherance of friendship between our countries. Yes, dear lady. You are most gratified with the assistance you have given. This doesn't make sense. There had to have been poison in that bottle. So how? How did she swallow a whole glass? Live to tell the tale. I don't understand. Well, I suppose if nothing else, this little far-eastern charade will make for an interesting conversation at the next party I attend in London. There has to have been poison in that bottle, doesn't there? But there can't have been, because otherwise she would have keeled over dead. Come on, Ryunosuke. We have all the clues now. That bottle of water. The culprit did procure our poison into Dr. Wilson's carbonated water. The defense refuses to change its position. It's serious.
Objection!
Ooh, are you blind?
There's no possible way that bottle could contain poison. I mean, we just saw
Miss Brett drinking the water. Miss Brett drinking the water from it.
That's right. Which rather complicates your argument, I think. And I believe that complication can be explained. How exactly? I need to think through all the things that don't quite add up here, one by one. I'm sure the answer is in the evidence we have in the court record somewhere. It has to be. Very well. If the defense truly intends to assert this claim, then I must ask you to support the assertion with evidence. What explains the witness was able to consume this supposedly poisoned water unscathed? Well, it has to be in that report, right? So,
Yes!
the answer to this riddle is right here in Miss Present's own research report.
Objection!
That's not a valid explanation. No. After all, we don't speak English. The report is only gibberish. The impudent young scoundrel is trying to ridicule the court. I'm not trying to ridicule anyone, honest. I'm just reading Susato-san's notes. Notes. I concur. This report is too extensive to be considered in its entirety by the court. You will direct us to the pertinent section, counsel. Which section of the report reveals the alleged answer to this riddle? I want to make sure I get this right. So, special characteristics, it is. We've been hearing a lot about this cure-all poison, and it's left me curious about something. Oh, counsel? Well, it sounds as though indigenous hunters have been using this poison for years and years to lace the heads of the arrows that they shoot at whatever prey they're hunting. So we've been led to believe, yes? And the point of hunting is to catch prey to eat. Get to that point, please. But if they were to use these laced arrows, doesn't that mean there would be traces of poison left in the prey the hunters were going to eat? Yes, good point. So surely the hunters wouldn't want to eat their prey, would they? Because then they'd be eating poison. Gracious counsel, no, that would be madness. But I actually found the answer to that conundrum in this research paper here. Under special characteristics, it says this. The poison starts to work after entering the body through a wound. A wound, you say? I see, that makes sense. Yes, the mention of that particular detail seemed a little strange to me, though. But it all makes sense when you interpret what's written like this. When cure-all enters the body through an open wound, it has terrifying, poisonous effects. However, when it enters the body via the mouth, it has no poisonous effects whatsoever. What? Miss Brett, you authored this research. You knew cure-all's special characteristics. And you knew that you could make a spectacle of drinking that water without any danger to yourself. You meddling little rapscallion? Oh gosh, that thing is real. Well, Ryunosuke, it turns out you're in an even better lore than I thought you'd be. Really? Me? A lawyer?
Objection! Shut up!
Again, that shut up. So, the ill-bred little puppy has a new toy to play with, so in fact she read in a book. But I'm afraid knowledge doesn't suit you, little boy. It only makes you look silly. What are you trying to say? Your schoolboy's logic has a fatal flaw. It's schoolboyish. Flaw? As even your brain has managed to deduce, cure-all is safe to ingest. It seems likely that its effects are neutralized by the acidic nature of the gastric succus. Oh, yes, well, of course. Gastric suckers? What are they? Look at that good old Phoenix Wright smile. So, if this lethal poison is completely harmless when drunk, the professor wouldn't have died when he swallowed it, would he? Yeah. That's right. Good gracious. That's basic science. Science that even schoolboys should be able to understand, no? But you're forgetting one thing. Order. The logic holds. If the lady and the professor drank the same poison, they would be affected in the same way. Are you trying to suggest? Yes, this cure poison is completely irrelevant to the case on trial. That's right. Surely even a little cockroach like you would understand something as simple as that. Ooh. Ooh. What is this welling up inside me? I've never felt like this before. It's a sort of conviction to break down all the discrepancies. It's so intense, almost rage-like. And more than anything else, it's an animalistic desire to take down my prey. It's time.
Objection!
Objection! I don't think so, Mr. Zelbritz. How dare you use that tone with me? You know very well that there is no fatal flaw here. You know exactly why. Even though both you and the victim swallowed the same poison. You are alive, but Dr. Wilson is dead. Counsel, I'm sure I don't need to remind you. You must provide compelling evidence, as we know that this poison is completely harmless when ingested. Why would Dr. Wilson alone have been killed by the curer? And we know exactly why.
Take that!
Take that! Oof. As Miss Brett so readily pointed out, she drank the same water as the professor. However, there was a fundamental and fatal difference between the two diners. Fatal difference? A fatal difference. The toxic effects of cure are only felt when the poison enters the body through an open wound. So, for a healthy person with no injuries, drinking it is completely harmless. But... oh, I love his objection team. What if there was a wound inside the mouth of the person drinking the poisoned water? Inside? Inside? Yes, like the wound you might have. If you had just been to the dentist and had a tooth extracted, for example. Ah! Oh. Miss Brett, you've acknowledged many times in your testimony already that you were well aware of Dr. Wilson's dental appointment that day. So that's it. You use that knowledge to orchestrate this. Is she laughing? I don't like to repeat myself, but honestly I can't resist. These childish courtroom games and your half-baked arguments are also puerile. What do you mean? Don't worry, little schoolboy. You'll find out soon enough. Oh. When you leave vital evidence lying around, you never know what might happen to it. No. I mean, it could just slip. Oh dear, how careless of me. I'm afraid some crucial evidence may have just been tragically destroyed. No! What is it? What just happened? It's the Englishwoman. You just smashed that bottle. And in the Supreme Court, what a terrible blunder. Officer, what are you waiting for? Lift up as much of the water from the broken bottle as possible at once. You're wasting your time. This delightful carpet under my feet was a gift from the British Empire. I assure you, it will soak up the water beautifully. You have neither the technology nor the presence of mind to recover it. Ah, oh, 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 oh. Something like that. How could you? You won't get away with this. You can thump the bench and shout as much as you like, little boy. But I'm afraid we'll never know now, will we? If there really was poison in the bottle or not. You. And let us not forget, we still have some very compelling evidence left intact.
Isn't that right, counsel of the prosecution? Oh, of course. You're referring to this photographic print, I presume, dear lady? That's right. And really, looking at this photograph, it's as clear as day, isn't it? The poor professor was sitting with his back to me. So of course, the only person who could have shot him from the front is the little schoolboy.
Objection!
No, you killed the victim that day, using Kira. And then, in order to frame Yunesuke, the crime, you waited until he picked up the pistol you arranged for him to find on the floor. Or you shot the professor's dead body in the chest with your own hidden gun. Then, in the confusion that followed, all you had to do was turn the dead professor in his chair around. You see, you had every opportunity to commit this crime. What a wonderful imagination you have, young man. Yeah. A hidden gun, you say? And I shot the professor's dead body, did I? I'm terribly sorry, but you don't have a shred of evidence.
Exactly. And as you have nothing to support your wild claims, the prosecution's stance remains unchanged. Victim Dr. Johnny Wilson was killed by a gunshot to the chest. Delivered in cold blood by the accused. Yunosuke Naruhodo!
Yes. Ouch. It's a prosecutor. Ouch. Ugh. This is unbelievable. How can this be happening? We had her, but now, is she really going to get away with it? The way she just destroyed that evidence was obscene. Yunosuke. Yes. From this far, but now you're the only one who can finish it. What? What do you mean? We've lost a vital piece of evidence, it's true. So if there are any clues left for us to use now, they must be in your head. In my head. You told me before that your powers of observation were the one thing you could really depend on. Oh, yes, that's true, but I didn't manage to notice that this woman was a foreigner with a swan on her head. Think back again now. Try to remember every last detail about the scene that day. Everything you saw, everything you felt, every color, smell. What I saw, what I felt. Every color. Is Kazuma right? Is somewhere in the vibrant memory of this same scene in my head. Could there be another clue to expose the identity of Dr. Wilson's killer? There's definitely a clue. Actually, Kazuma, I think I might have something. Thinking back over everything I saw, might have uncovered another clue. You always have something up your sleeve, don't you, Ryunosuke? Come on then. Let's wipe the smug smile off that Englishwoman's face with some evidence. Alright, I can't wait. It's been niggling me for a while that something feels amiss in my memories on that day. Whatever it could be, can be the key to arriving at the truth about all this. It's here somewhere, the clue that shows who Dr. Wilson's real killer must have been. It's blood.
Take that!
Inspector Hosonaga, answer me this. Yes. What is it? Look, he's still miles away, probably thinking about that bottle being smashed. As you've said a number of times now, you've strived for perfection in your investigations, don't you? Absolutely. Absolutely. I wonder, therefore, if perhaps you took anything else from the scene of the crime. Like this, for instance. A plate of the steak that you took to the victim's table that day.
Objection!
Wait a minute, where are you going with this?
Where are you going with this, little boy? It's just a memory that's been troubling me. What memory? I saw the scene shown in the photographic print with my own eyes that day. And I saw that on the wooden base of the plate that the steak was served on. was a spattering of blood.
What? Oh, really? And what of it? Obviously, that must have happened when you shot the professor.
No, that can't be the case. Take a good look at the photograph and the relative position of everything there. The plate of steak is almost directly behind the victim. I'm supposed to have shot Dr. Wilson in the chest from the front. There's no way that blood from the victim could have ended up directly behind him. Yeah. Yes. For blood to have made it onto the plate, it implies that the plate was between the victim and the shooter, which means the shooter must have been sitting opposite the professor as you were. Giselle Britt?
I beg your pardon?
Objection!
It was beyond ridiculous, fabricated. And I just remembered seeing...
Hold it!
Hold it! Hold it! Hold it! Hold... Oh, that's Hosonaga. Hold it! This
This could be the moment that my entire career in the police force has been leading to. Inspector, you mean... Yes, I took the plate, in the interest of preserving evidence from the scene of the crime. I took it, meat and all. I don't care if they call me a crime scene thief because of it.
You did what?
I took the steak that you had been eating, Miss Britt. I took the steak that the sergeant had been eating. And I did it all, in the name of justice. Then we can find out for sure whether or not there's a bloodstain on Miss Britt's plate. We must examine it now. Inspector, the court wishes to examine the plate from the victim's table immediately.
Yes, sir.
Sorry for the delay. Here is what you ordered, the steak. Well, what about the blood? Is there blood on it?
Of course there isn't.
Quickly, Inspector, the blood man. Show the court. Of course. Examine the plate at your leisure. No blood. No blood anywhere. But no, that's impossible. I know I saw it. I'm sure of it. It was right there on the table behind the professor. There was blood on the inside of the plate.
What an unbecoming expression, little boy. You see, this is why you can't trust what Japanese tell you. Jessica, I couldn't agree more. In the case of disgrace to the Empire.
I believe we may finally have reached a conclusion in this trial.
Let's hope so. Then let's pretend attempt at courtroom proceedings is painful to watch. But I promise to do my best to forget all about it when it's over.
Come on. If the star-looking accused wishes to examine it again, be my guest. Let's look at the court record. I must know. Eh?
Ah?
What in the world is this? I think it's a Koban coin. The hallmark is from the Hoa area, I believe.
No, I don't mean what is it. I mean, what's it doing there?
Wait, did you say it was from the Hoa Koban? It was a Hoa Koban. Yes. And apart from the meat juices, it looks to be in good condition. I imagine it's very valuable. This isn't the first time today that there's been talk of a Hoa Koban. I've heard of pearls before swine, but I've never heard of bullion in bouillon. And I don't think you ever will again. This is extraordinary, though. This means... I'd like to take the coin, please. I certainly never expected to find a precious coin underneath the thick cut of meat. That's from the Hoa era too, that'd make it really quite valuable. It's well marinated in juices as well. Look! What are you thinking of? What are you thinking of eating? No, but the next time I order a steak in an expensive restaurant, one thing's for sure. My heart's going to be racing as I lift up the meat and peer underneath for a prize. I think you might have the wrong end of the stick about this, Ryunosuke. The Koban coin underneath this steak. There's only one logical explanation. Okay. Ryunosuke, it's not over yet. Not until the final gavel. Never stop believing in yourself. Keep looking forward, no matter what. Believe in myself? Really? Maybe I should at least examine the evidence for myself, as the evidence requested by the defense has not been shown to be problematic in any way. Does the defense have any objection? There has to be. You must keep pushing. Your Excellency, please wait. This plate of beef is hiding under the clue. Another clue that will reveal the shocking truth.
Objection!
Your Excellency, I think I've made myself clear, haven't I? I will not be able to turn a blind eye to any more unnecessary procrastination in this trial. I'm sorry, Miss Britt, but we must ensure a thorough examination of evidence. I will not give a ruling until I'm completely satisfied that reasonable doubt has been dispelled. I see. As a newly affirmed ally of my country, that's still your position, is it? Thank you, Your Excellency. You've already seen this. Let's go. Bouillon and bouillon. Je peux parler de français. Je peux parler le français une petite.
Got it!
Got it! I got it! Good gracious, that's... Koban? What on earth? A whole era one at that. Miss Britt, this is in fact the beefsteak that you ordered at the restaurant on the day in question, is it? Tell me, why is there an old coin seemingly hidden underneath the meat? What a ridiculous question. How should I know? I've never seen that thing before in my life. I don't know what this is. I'm not...
Objection!
Oh.
Objection!
Oh, what's happening? Don't be absurd. I'm supposed to believe that this happened by accident? Rare Hawaii Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak. If this turns out to be relevant to the case, I'll rip up my ticket to Great Britain right now. He's right. It can't be a coincidence. Your Excellency! Yes, Counsel. A rare Hawaii Koban just happens to be hidden underneath that piece of steak? If this turns out to be irrelevant to the case, I'll give up my lawyer job right now.
Objection!
By all means, don't let us stop you. No one invited you anyways. Perhaps, little boy, you should realize that it is you who is irrelevant. Even though I'm the one on trial here?
Point is, it's essential that we ask the owner of this coin if he can explain what hides under the stake.
The owner? Yes, it's obvious. There's only one person. Oh my gosh, that's Dunban over there. Wait, wrong game.
Take that!
Sorry, I'm eating more chocolate. Give me a sec.
Objection! Yes!
Yes, I know. Why?
Now the stand is giant.
That's it. I won.
As I thought.
Young man, enlighten this decrepit fool. Put me out of my misery. Where was my treasure? Where was it dropped?
Oh, I'm not sure if it was dropped anywhere. We found your coin sandwiched between a beefsteak and its plate, soaked in the seasoned meat juices.
This is sandwiched. Okay? Seriously?
Clearly, it couldn't have fallen there by accident, which means that somebody must have hidden it there on purpose.
Somebody could steal my holy treasure?
We're right back. Hold on. Put this on autoplay for you. Alright, I'm back. Hello. Sorry if I'm not fully engrossed and focused on this. Like, I'm not saying I'm not. This story is amazing. The Great Ace Attorney, or Gyakuten Saiban, is really good. Like, story. It's just, it was such a good story that I was watching the sub version when they were translating it out in 2015. When I was way younger. I can't believe they couldn't, they didn't finish Gyakuten too. And I was very unhappy. But now both are in here, so
Take that!
I'm ready for this. Hmm. And yes, the breakdown. One last time. Yeah, I give up on the voices. Whew. Doing English accents is... I must tell you now, what are you talking about? What contradiction? Hmm. Mm-hmm. We all know what people...
Take that!
yes.
Objection! Shut up!
Oof.
Shut up!
Do I know where I'm going with this? Yes, now at last. Everything. Dun, 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 dun. Yep.
Shut up!
Actually, the evidence I'm talking about hasn't been brought before the court yet. Not yet. Just because it hasn't been shown yet doesn't mean the evidence does not exist.
Objection!
Objection. Objection. It's my time to feel the power. Oh, I'm sorry.
Take that!
Yep. It's Inspector Holton. What? I have it? Yes. You think I've been withholding conclusive evidence? That's ridiculous. No, I'm not saying that. Everyone's attention has been focused on the stake with the teeth marks. Yes. Now, earlier this afternoon, Sergeant Nosa told the court the following. I'd enjoy chomping my way through a good steak. And as well as admitting to stealing Corey's coin, he told us that he slipped it under the steak. You wash it to death, I'm superior. Sergeant Nosa, could you please something for me? Was the steak that you put the coin under, in fact, your own steak? Affirmative, of course, I might be a soldier. But still, Nippon. I'm not brave enough to ask a foreign lady if she... In other words, the steak that detective submitted as evidence earlier was in fact Sergeant Nosa's meal.
Objection! Objection!
Objection. Yet the gentlewoman doesn't take bites out of her steak, nor did she have any opportunity to steal the coin. Of course I didn't steal it. To even suggest such a thing would be an affront to the entire British Empire. Well then, how do you explain this paradox? And? You did switch the plates? Well, after it happened, the, in a mere 0 seconds. No time. Yes.
Yes!
The sergeant knows to switch the plates over. Means he took Miss Brett's stick. The plate is on back to his own table. Yes, that follows. Inspector Hosanaga. Yes. Earlier in this trial, you told the court this. You said that you had not only taken Miss Brett's steak after the incident, but also the sergeant's. That was our evidence. You had taken both. Ah. That's correct. Then please, present it to the court now. The plate was back on the victim's table.
Shut up!
Pursuit! Woo! Time for a great turnabout.
Objection!
What's with you Japanese? Surely you're not that forgetful. Surely remember the reason why the steak pan promises to prove such a problem for you. Well, start of a grand adventure.
Yes!
Suppose that there's a story mode to this game, and you can just watch the story and everything will be done for you. I want to do this myself. Yes, a Nihon schoolboy. Man, I didn't think the 19th century was you put real gooses on your heads. Hmm. Wow. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm already falling asleep. Oof. This case. So much has happened in the case. Mm-hmm. Misdemeanor. Hmm. Yo, low key, if Giselle had the hots for Naruhodo, that would have been funny. I better start getting used to this tough opposition. Oof. Many millennia. Yep. It's only been a few short decades since our country opened its doors to the wider world. Christian ideas of science are rapidly gaining acceptance. Bum, bum, bum. Mm-hmm. A mission. I still don't know what the mission was for Kazuma. Like, I've yet to see that 2 with the great understanding on Gyakuten 2 was about, so I'm gonna learn about that later. That'll be an actual video and live stream. Potential. I love that pin though, the Yume University pin. I find the defendant, Ryunosuke Naruhodo. Not guilty! Goes I. No. No, Josei. Yeah, it's Josei, right? Because it goes from Ja Arimasen. The Ja. Josei. Or is it no, because Usai means guilty, right? I don't remember. Can't believe it. I can't believe what's happened. I felt the power. Power of the Monado. Maybe the Aegis as well. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you finally pulled it off. Congratulations. Well, I couldn't have done it without you. Thank you, Cosmo. Ah, no, it was a pleasure to watch you at work. So, you owe me an extra large sukiyaki from the place at Yume. Don't forget. Good afternoon. All your hard work has certainly paid off. Congratulations to both of you for proving Naruhodo-san's innocence. Ah, our trusty judicial assistant. You worked hard for that result too, you know. Oh no, I didn't do anything. Arigatou gozaimashita! If we hadn't had that research report from Ms. Betts, I don't know how things would have turned out. Your kind words should really be for my father. I'm simply doing as he asked. It was his idea for me to go to the university and investigate. Father? Oh yes, of course, Migotoba. Speaking of Migotoba, there you are. I believe congratulations are in order. Naruto, you did an excellent job. Arigato. Sensei. Yeah. Boku ga arigato, kimi. Whatever it's called. I keep forgetting the format. Your efforts exposed the true criminal that took the life of my good friend. Good friend? Oh yes, you mentioned that before. It was you who actually invited Dr. Wilson to Yume. That's right. Mr. Migotoba studied overseas himself. He went to study forensic medicine. That's when you met Dr. Wilson in Britain. Exactly. Those days we worked together in the same hospital. Oh, you worked together? Never heard of you mention that before. Well, this was a long time ago. Besides, it's your turn, Sogi. Great Britain is a magnificent country. It leads the world in science, medicine, engineering, culture, and of course, in law. Watch and learn, my boy. See what's happening in the world's largest melting pot. I will. I'll learn all that I can. I swear on this, the spirit of the Asogi clan. You're not taking that sword to Great Britain, are you? Of course I am. A Japanese man's katana is his sword. This blade shows me where I need to go. It cuts down anything that's in my way. Yes, I've definitely seen how sharp it is already with my own eyes. That reminds me, what happened to the woman? Giselle Brett, I mean. After all, she's guilty. Ah, yes. Her. It's not easy to tell you this, but... What do you mean? What do you mean? Surely she's going to face trial herself now. She's the true culprit, after all. She will be leaving Japan in the very near future. For Shanghai. Shanghai? She's going to China? What? Shanghai? Giselle Brett will not appear in court again in this country. I'm certain of that. What? But why not? It's a matter of consular jurisdiction. Inspector Hosonaga. It was a hard-fought battle in the courtroom today. Very impressive to watch. I must congratulate. But what's this all about consular jurisdiction? We cannot try this particular foreigner for crimes here in Japan. What? We can't try her? But then who is going to bring her to justice? British consular court will hear her case somewhere far away where our voices can't be heard. Why consular court? Professor, I simply don't understand. I thought consular courts were a thing of the past now when we've signed the Friendship Treaty. Yes, in normal circumstances you're right. Then, so long as this is not a serious incident of highly political nature, you can't invoke a council of the court just like that. Oh, can't they? Yes, she's a student. But it doesn't justify our government's making secret agreements about her fate, does it? Something strange is going on. So Miss Brett can't be held accountable for her actions here. I'm afraid that for the young students, today's trial was nothing more than a game all along. There was never any danger of comeuppance for her. I don't believe it. The British government's Foreign Affairs Ministry has demanded that we hand over custody of Miss Brett. They're obviously taking this case of a foreign student committing murder very seriously. It's all going to change from now on. We can make it change. This is a time of great turmoil, this new era heralded by the start of the 20th century. One day, I have no doubt, that woman will receive the judgment she deserves. Yes, change is coming, and we're the ones driving it. Well, I think that's enough seriousness for now. This evening calls for a celebratory drink. But, Professor, you're right. This is no time for gloomy faces. We should be celebrating Ryunosuke's not guilty verdict. Let's start having some fun. In that case, might I suggest Le Carnaval? As the head waiter, I should be delighted to provide you with ample food and drink. You're a detective, Hosonaga-san, aren't you? Let's not worry about the details for now. To La Carnival! Will you accompany us, Professor? Of course, La Carnival's food is second to none. I may still go and attend to the paperwork for Naruhodo-san's release. Oh, yes. Arigato. Mrs. L. Brent won't be tried here. I suppose that means I'll never know. I'll never find out why she killed Dr. Wilson. Kazuma? Yes, Ryunosuke. I just wanted to say thanks again, and that's all. You really saved my skin today. I didn't do a thing. You were the lawyer now, weren't you? That defense was all your own work. Your skills made the difference, though. One day, I bet you'll be the best lawyer in the world. I'm not so sure about that. Huh? To be honest, something kept occurring to me over and over again during that trial. I couldn't help thinking that maybe you're the one destined to become a great lawyer, not me. What? Oh, come on, you can't be serious. If I helped you today, it was only right at the very start of the trial. But you have a natural talent for it, for being a defense lawyer, I mean. Oh, no, not me. All that tense verbal combat. I never want to go through that ever again. I did what you told me to do. That's all, because I knew I could trust you. And that's the point. Sorry? What do you mean, that's the point? Pointing your finger. Listen, Ryunosuke. Do you know what the most crucial weapon is that any lawyer needs in order to win? Knowledge of the law? No. The ability to believe. To believe? To believe what? A defense lawyer has to fight for his clients. He has to believe in them at all times. Like you believed in me when I said I didn't do it. I'm human, just like you. I don't have some superhuman ability to know the truth. But you have to make a choice about what to believe in and to stick to it when you're defending someone. Sometimes in the courtroom, you can really be backed into a corner. Being able to remain faithful to what you chose to believe in, even then, well, that's not something that anyone can do. It takes a special kind of person. Believing in your client. Just look at today's trial. I'm a student lawyer with precious little real experience, but you never stopped believing in me. Well, you faced seemingly hopeless situations time and again, but you never stopped looking for the truth. And in the end, you found it, through your own efforts, because you never stopped believing in me. Thanks, Kazuma. There's something I want to ask you, actually, Ryunosuke. Well, it's a favor, really. Something very important to me. It sounds serious. What is... Ah, you're still here, are you? Oh, Inspector Hosonaga. I've arranged some rituals for us. Let's go. Thank you. We'll be right there. Let's pick up this conversation again later. We should be celebrating right now. Your first court victory. And your study tour to Great Britain, don't forget. Ah, yes, that too. But my very first trial came to an end. Kazuma. Professor Mikotoba. Susato-san, who acted as my assistant. Inspector Hosonaga, who didn't really play much of a part, but still. It was because of the help and support of all these people that I managed to get through all of that trial. But more importantly, Kazuma hadn't yet managed to ask his favor of me. Little did I realize just how much it would change my life. Alrighty, I guess end of chapter 1. Woo! Defense debut. Alrighty. Well, that's the end of this stream. I'm way too tired. Alrighty. Guess I'll just see you all in the next time. Signing out.